All right, y'all. I got a bone to pick with the diaspora. I got a bone to pick. And I'm going to start off with Nigerians, but then I'm going to come around to Black Americans because y'all was up in this just to backing them up on this. And it's a mess. It's a mess. And of course, it has to do with your favorite, white Jesus. That's the one thing Black folks can come together for. I ask y'all all the time if we could ever unite about anything. Like, yeah, we got our differences. There's a lot of complaints to complain, my friend, right? But it's like, can we ever come together on one accord the way that white people do against us? We can't never set our differences aside to stand against white supremacy in the same way that white people set their differences aside in order to uphold white supremacy, right? But I can assure you the one time Black people of different ethnic groups are going to come together and hype each other up, back each other up, and be on one accord is when it's time to worship white Jesus. Now, there is a singer named Tems, okay? And for those of y'all who don't know who that is, she made that song with, I think, Future, where it's like, I will wait for you, I will wait for you. That song, okay? Now, I know y'all finna come comment that, man, actually, she made this song back in 2012. Okay, that's fine, but that's the song that I've heard of over here in America before y'all even come talking about how Tems is the Beyonce of West Africa, because y'all always on that. Somebody say, oh, I've never really heard of this person that much. Y'all come, well, over here. Okay, well, I'm not from there. So anyway, moving on, right? So she posted a picture of her, like, in a body of water at the beach or something. And there were Nigerians responding to this picture of her saying that she looked like some Nigerian goddess, right? So Tim's response to people comparing her to this Nigerian goddess with this whole like shebang. She's like, actually, this is about Jesus teaching me to walk on water. Like, it's about me trusting him, you know, like he's changed my life. And if you want him to, he will change yours too. He is my shepherd, my light of lifetime, mother sheep. Like, y'all, she was, I mean, maybe I'm saying she was doing the most because I'm just not into, you know, that sort of ordeal. But this was my thing, okay? Initially, when I saw this playing out, I did not realize that Tems is Nigerian. I did not know that. So I was like, I mean, maybe she reacted this way because she's not Nigerian. So it's like, oh, that God doesn't mean anything to me or whatever, right? But then come to find out, she Nigerian. So it's like, huh? This is my thing. This is my thing. I get that Black people worldwide have been colonized and buck broken. I get it. That's why y'all out here worshiping white Jesus and Middle Eastern Allah and everything but whatever you supposed to be worshiping, right? It's always funny because I don't know where this quote comes from, but somebody pointed this out. Black people is the only people who worship a God who don't look like them. We the only people on the planet that's worshiping white people's gods, Middle Eastern people's gods, whatever. Everybody else's God looks like them. What's up with that, right? But anyway, my thing is this. I brought this up for a point. I get that y'all are colonized and brainwashed into serving white Jesus, right? But at the barest bones, the most basic minimum, I believe that you should still have a respect for your own culture. Like, even if you don't believe in it, you should still have some respect for it just because it's your culture. Like, I'm African American. You know, our cultural practices are hoodoo, voodoo, whatever. Now, I'm not religious. I'm not spiritual or anything. I'm going to tell y'all the honest to God truth. I believe that if all this voodoo and hoodoo and whatever else y'all praying to worked, we would not be in the situation that we in. I'm sorry. That's just the honest to God truth. Like, and I'm going to bring it back to white Jesus too, okay? I believe that if white Jesus was thinking about niggas, we would not be in the situation that we was in, okay? My ancestors prayed for freedom from enslavement for centuries. And guess what they got? Nothing, nigga. And it's funny because I said this, right? And somebody commented like, well, look at you. Are you enslaved? Clearly their prayers were answered. Bitch, that's not what they prayed for. They prayed that they would be freed and they were not, right? But then this is my thing also. We still not fucking free. Our community is still in shambles. I really doubt that this is what they prayed for. So like, that's still not even a good comparison. Anyway, back to my point. I will tell y'all right now, not only do I not believe in white Jesus or Middle Eastern a lot, like I said, I'm not really into the voodoo or hoodoo stuff either, because again, if any of this worked, we would just not be living the way that we living on this planet. It's just the honest to God truth. If any of this stuff that any Black people, I'm not just talking about African Americans with voodoo and hoodoo, I'm talking about Haitian voodoo, I'm talking about white Jesus. If any of this stuff worked, I'm sure all these prayers for our people to live better would be answered. So clearly, whatever this stuff is, it don't work or it's not working in our favor, right? But even as somebody who feels this way about religion and spirituality, I still have an innate respect for my own culture's spiritualities just because they're part of my culture, right? And I'm saying that because, okay, Tems worships white Jesus, okay, but at the same time, she should still have a respect for her own culture and her own deities. I can't imagine somebody comparing me to some, I don't know, voodoo or hoodoo priestess spirit, whatever, I don't know, right? And me being offended by it. Like, okay, don't get me wrong, I don't believe in it, but at the same time, it's my culture, you know, it's been important to my people for so long, you know, like, I could never be offended by it and be checking somebody about comparing me to it. So the fact that this Nigerian woman took such great issue with somebody comparing her to a Nigerian deity is like, girl, it's giving funky booty business. It's giving dumb. It's giving stupid, right? But it is not even just Nigerians, because I've seen so many Black Americans. I'm not even joking, y'all. I've seen people in my personal life, like people I have as friends on Facebook who I know in real life, posting the shit that Tim said, like, amen, I believe that I received this, Lord. And it's like, what? Like, again, what? Again. I get that Black people worldwide are colonized and buck broken, right? I get that y'all have been brainwashed into worshiping these false gods, these white Jesuses and these Middle Eastern Allahs and other things of the sort, right? I get that, okay? But again, at the same time, you should still have the barest bones of respect for your own culture. I don't like how Black people, and I'm talking about all of y'all niggas, I'm not just talking about Tems and the other people in Nigeria, I'm not just talking about Black Americans. I don't like how so many Black people of so many backgrounds will demonize their own fucking culture, but sit there and put white people's culture on the fucking pedestal. Like, how does that make sense? Like, I've seen so much stupid shit, and usually this stuff is from Africans and Caribbeans trying to dog the D9, okay, the Divine Nine, the African American sororities and fraternities. So in that case, it's not people demonizing their own culture, but at the same time though, it's the fact that you demonizing Blackness, period, okay? I've seen so many Africans and Caribbeans, and in fact, I made a video about this, I'll put it up here, sitting there talking about, oh, the rituals in the D9 are demonic, so and so, yada, yada, yada. But you take your big, Black, stupid ass to church every fucking Sunday and be eating bread and drinking wine, talking about, this is the body that was broken for me, this is the blood that was shed for me. That's not no demonic ass ritual to you, but you'll sit there and talk shit about some rituals that are rooted in whatever aspect of Blackness, whether it's African Americanness, Africanness, Caribbeanness, whatever. So you'll do some demonic shit as long as it's a part of a white religion, but God fucking forbid niggas have any sort of rituals. Y'all niggas make me sick. And it's especially just like what? When I see Africans doing this doofy ass shit. Because it's bad enough when I see Black Americans doing this, right? Like, it'll be bad enough if I saw a Black American demonizing African religion. And I see that all the time. I'm talking about if I see that. That happens all the time, right? I see many Black Americans like, yeah, all those false... Like, in fact, I be seeing Black Americans talking about, oh, slavery was a punishment because we were serving false gods in Africa. So I've seen plenty of Black Americans demonize, African deities, right? So it's bad enough when I see something like that, right? But it's 100 times worse when I see a literal fucking African demonizing their own goddamn culture. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, huh? It makes me like, y'all, because I'm like, y'all, it's bad enough when I see African Americans and Caribbeans worshiping white Jesus, right? But I cut them some slack because it's like, I guess you feel like you don't really have much to turn to besides that. Because the honest to God truth is this: religious people need religion because they're weak-willed, lily-livered. They need it. They need something to prop themselves up with, right? So it's like, okay, if they don't have Christianity, what do they have? It's not a lot of stuff to choose from, right? But then when you see Africans worshiping this nonsense, it's like, well, you have your tribal religion. You know exactly where you come from. You know exactly what your people have always worshipped. So what the fuck are you doing, right? So then when you see these Africans literally demonizing their own fucking culture for white people, it's like, if these people who have full access to their culture is this fucking down bad, this fucking delusional, this fucking batshit crazy behind white people, what can you even expect from the rest of the Black population?